Hi everyone. Sorry, just let me get ready here. So yeah, I'm Sharon McFarlane. Just to kind of give you a little bit of background about us. So we have been in the iGaming space for the last 11 years. We've been working with affiliates, operators, and suppliers to the industry to help them create social media strategies that are based on building a community rather than just constant paid traffic. So what we're going to do today is just kind of run through the benefits of building your social media strategy around a community of players as opposed to always paid traffic. We're going to run through some challenges that you might kind of come up against, and we are also just going to run through some examples of operators and suppliers that do it well. We've also kind of got one of our clients at a case study at the end, which we can kind of run through. So first of all, we're just going to run through why community overpaid. One of the first things is trust. So although iGaming is heavily regulated, players still, in that first interaction, are a little bit dubious about making a deposit online, specifically if it's for an operator. So if you sort of use your social media channels as a brand and a base for that, they're much more likely to trust you and make that action. Brand affinity. So typically it will take 5 to 7 interactions before someone connects with your brand well enough to then go back to the site and commit an action.
It's super interesting. Can you speak a little bit slower?
Oh, of course.
Yes, thank you so much.
Do you know what? I've got a Scottish accent as well, so if anybody needs me to be slower, let me know. So typically it takes 5 to 7 interactions for someone to connect with a brand and to take action. So that means that you have to have enough interesting content for 5 to 7 times before you can get somebody to do what you want them to do. And the community overall. So I think back in the day when bingo was in its heyday, they did this very, very well, and we're actually going to use that as an example later on in the presentation. So it should also be a place for your players to connect with each other and to be able to interact. That way they've got their own little family and they're far more likely to come back, and that will increase your retention rates overall. Social media is the perfect place to do that. The clue's in the title, social. Cool. That's just a quick stat there. Just 47% of people who follow brands on social media take action onto their website. So if you've already got that captive audience on that brand, you're far more likely to get any conversions through. So now we're just going to go on to how to build that. So obviously that's why it's important. What you need to do is go back to basics. So know your customer and choose your channel. So these are just some basic stats in terms of the social channels that we kind of work with for some of our clients. That gives you an idea of some of the key demographics. So for example, if you have a sportsbook brand, you might want to use Twitter more. If you are an esports brand, you may want to work towards Twitch, or you might want to work towards TikTok if you're looking to generate that captive audience that is a sort of younger generation. So the idea is to make sure that you're focusing on the channels that do well. You don't need to have content across every single channel. You just need to make sure that you're picking the right one. Oops. So how do you build your social media community? Content, consistency, and connection. So it sounds a really basic thing, but create a content calendar well in advance. So what we found when we took on quite a lot of our clients was everything was quite sporadic. So they didn't have a plan in place. So actually what would happen would be that there wouldn't be content posted every day. There wouldn't be the right type of content. It would just be whatever's there whenever it was ready. Another big one, which is a huge mistake that we kind of see a lot of operators make actually specifically, is they are overloading the users with promotion rather than engaging content. So it's all about, this is what's happening on our site, deposit now, play, do this. And that's great to have that information there, but if you don't have that engaged audience, then no one's going to see that anyway. So the idea is to make sure that your content is engaging, and then they'll get there. In the end, they'll follow the right steps. Keep the content varied. So obviously in certain social channels, video is king, well, on most of them to be fair. Another sort of quick tip to know is on Facebook specifically, if any of you guys use that a lot, video and live video specifically actually is the best functionality that you can use. It works on a sort of algorithm basis where video is king, then image, then link, and then text. So if someone goes onto a social media channel and on your page and they just see a lot of posts that are just text-based and not much else, that's not kind of giving them a good vibe for your brand. Use the functionality that's there. So again, especially Facebook and especially Instagram, actually, they've done really well. They're constantly creating new tools. They want you to keep posting because it's how it makes them money. So they know that by using things like Facebook Lives, streams, Reels, all this kind of stuff, that is what captivates that audience, and that's what you need to do. Consistent design for brand affinity. So if you have an in-house designer, that's kind of best. So I think what we noticed as well, when we took a lot of our clients on originally, they would just maybe use templates and that sort of stuff for their social media channels. But bear in mind, it's a mini shop window for your brand because, as I said, it is a search. It's an actual search tool. People search social media channels for you. And then if the first thing that they see is graphics that aren't consistent with what you guys are doing, then, you know, it's not a great sale. I'm not even allowed to make my own graphics for my own company. That's like where we are. Consistency. So post regularly on social media. An inactive page doesn't build trust. So what you'll find is it's a medium-term strategy. So what we also had was quite a lot of clients who have been posting for about a month. Nothing's happened yet, so I just can't be bothered anymore, and that's it. So what you need to do is to make sure that you keep the strategy going and don't give up on it. Use analytics to establish the best times of day and content users are engaging with. So all of these social media channels have got amazing analytics. All of them will tell you the age demographic of the people that are liking the posts. They'll tell you their interest groups. They'll tell you when they're liking the content. And that then allows you to create that content calendar moving forward so that you're creating the content that works best for that user. Be consistent with responses. So once you've kind of got a start of that community, effectively, people will start to ask questions. It could be that they've got a customer query. It could be that they just anything. So what you need to do is make sure that you're answering in a timely fashion to make sure that, you know, you're getting back to them quickly to build that trust and to build that brand. Connection. So culture-based content. So I'm going to go back to Bingo a little bit because these kind of do this really, really well. So see if you have like an in-house team for your operator or your affiliate portal. Don't think that people don't want to know about the people that work for you, because they do. Typically, it's actually the most engaged piece of content that you get on there. So for example, if you've got chat hosts and it's their birthday, celebrate that just like you would if you were in any other company. iGaming's no different, and I think that's the thing. I think people think it's too different. But it's not. It's the same. People are still wanting to get to know the people behind the brand. User-generated content. So the best type of content is when the user actually creates it, and we're going to kind of talk about that a little later on. I've got an example for one of our clients that does that. So some of the challenges to building a social media. So it is more difficult to do it in iGaming in any other industry. We've got regulations and ad spend. There's compliance issues in terms of brand messaging, so you need to make sure that you've obviously got all the right terms and conditions and everything. And user-generated content can be problematic if you don't have somebody on the pulse to answer that as they come in. So on social media channels like Facebook, there are tools that you can use to help that. So you can create little bots and messenger replies so that if somebody does message you, they still get an instant response. It might not be the tailored one that you will send them later, but they know that you're there and they know that you're asking. And there are going to be some stricter regulations on the way. So we've got Twitch, which has been massive for esports. We've got kind of a lot of Twitch influencers. They're making money on casinos as well, so they're doing sort of slots, battles and that kind of stuff, but they are banning affiliate links, and they've done that with like sort of immediate effect. So there will be tougher regulations coming. It's just all about keeping up to date with those and making sure that you're doing things right. The last thing you want to do is build this massive community, then post something that you shouldn't, and then everything's taken down. Who should you follow? Cool. So here's some examples. So Tombola Bingo, this is a perfect example. So what we've done is we've picked 3 people, and what we're going to want to do is just highlight what these guys have done well. So these guys, first of all, what you'll see there is they've got their content calendar. They only post that once on their social media channels. So what you'll see is you'll go to their Facebook and you'll see that they typically pin that to the top of the page. That's all they really need to do in terms of promotion, because the rest of the content actually speaks for itself. So they're a perfect example of a brand that uses live content on Facebook. So they'll host like pub quizzes. Now the beauty of that is that when you go live on any social media channel, you're then using push notifications. So then the user will automatically get a notification to say this brand's going live in 3 minutes, especially if you schedule it in. So then it gives them that extra nudge that they wouldn't get if you were just posting content. They also have a big focus on Tombola employees, so it's kind of back to what I was saying with people care about the people behind the brand. So if you go on their social channels, what you'll see is, their CM just had a granddaughter, and that's all over the place, because people are kind of getting to know who answers questions, and that's what they want to see. Regular competitions and giveaways. So yeah, they're always doing fun things. They always have fun videos. They're always saying guess the slot, that sort of stuff. As soon as that happens, they'll get the user engaged. You can give them like free bonus spins, whatever, as an incentive to kind of get them coming back. Paddy Power, I'm not going to talk a lot about because I'm sure everybody's not surprised that that's on there. Everybody knows about Paddy Power's social media channels and how they do well. But they're the perfect example of a brand that has really shown their personality across social media. They did get shut down on Twitter for a little while last year, which is not advised, but they are a perfect example of, they're funny, they're a bit tongue-in-cheek, a bit close to the bone, but it worked really, really well for them. What they're always doing as well, and this is for anybody who has like sportsbook operator sites or affiliate sites, they're constantly on what's trending. So anytime there's a live game on, you can bet that they're all over Twitter, they're all over Facebook, and they're jumping on those trends. They get so much engagement on Twitter, and it's the perfect channel actually for them to drive traffic back to their site. And customer interaction. So they've obviously got a big team, and they've obviously got a lot of people that can kind of hop on this. But they're always engaging with people as well. So when somebody does retweet them or do anything, they'll come back and they'll speak to them. Okay. Cool. So this is actually one of our clients. And this is a little different because it is not an operator or an affiliate. It is a supplier to the iGaming industry. So this is an example of using a different tool that fits in with your strategy. So because these guys are looking to target people in the iGaming industry, such as affiliate managers, the best tool for them, we feel, is LinkedIn. So the kind of content that we've been using for those is a big mix. So for example, they've got lots of tips and tools you'll see, which is valuable content that adds value to the user. We've created an Ask Affiliate Insider feature, where what happens is you actually get to ask questions, and then they'll post live video content to answer those. It's probably one of the ones that's done the best out of anything that we've done for them. They also do short, tiny teaches. So sort of 3 to 5 minute videos giving affiliate managers tips on how to be successful. And yeah, we post every single day on those as well. In terms of that channel, the growth on that since we started has been 340% full. And it's kind of only getting better. Cool. So just the 3 main takeaways, and then if anybody's got any questions as well, I'm more than happy to answer. But make sure you go back to the basics, choose the right channel, get analytics and tracking in place as well. So that's something that not a lot of sort of affiliates struggle with. They don't have Facebook pixels, they don't have any Instagram pixels on their website, so they can't actually track what's happening. And if you do have a specific campaign in place that you want to see how effective it is, you can have like your own URL. Make sure that you have that in place so you can see which campaigns are doing well and which aren't in your back-end analytics as well as on those social channels. And again, plan in advance. Valuable content, so be a knowledge hub as well. So actually, I think what a lot of maybe operators and affiliates forget is that people like to be educated in the games that they're playing too. They want to know more about the slots. They want to know more about that stuff. So actually what we incorporate quite a lot for operators is video reviews for slot games. And we'll trigger the features. We'll have explanations of how those features work. And that kind of gives them an indicator of what they can expect from that game before they kind of click on. Yep, create content is designed for the user to interact. Yep, again, that's your kind of competitions and stuff. And make sure that you're interacting with the clients as much as possible. So that's it from me. But if you guys have any questions, I think Connor's going to take them.
Please raise your hand if you have any questions for
Good to see
Sharon.
you
I
there,
will
Connor.
bring you a microphone. Any questions at all? Well, if we have no questions, then let's give a big hand to Sharon. Thank you very much for that. Absolutely fantastic stuff.